Right.
Go.
So for those of you who have not been apprised of this situation, I was blessed with like the Darth Vader of motherfucking grandmothers. Like there's a palpable disturbance in the force whenever this goddamn bitch is around. I shit you not. Alright, so it started when I was like 12 when she came to my 12th birthday party and told me that she was writing me out of her will because I wasn't blood. And since then it has progressed. And it's just, like, the situation has been so exacerbated year after year after year after year that every year, from Christmas, which is the only goddamn motherfucking time I have to see that cunt, I come home with a goddamn grandma story. Even the Christmas that I didn't go home, I had a grandma story. So, this I present to you, Grandma 2008. Now, every year since my grandfather has died, my grandmother has taken his estate and split it up between my mom and her 6 other brothers and sisters, their spouses, and their kids. Now, other than me, little Miss Black Sheep adoption of the family, my Aunt Melissa, my mother's sister, has 3 boys. Now, every year, the kids get one set of presents, right? Like, they get, you know, a huge motherfucking amount, and the adults get another set of presents, which is a slightly smaller amount, since Christmas is not as important to anybody over the age of, like, 21.
Right.
So, I'm sitting this year with my mother and my 3 cousins. So I have 1 adult receiving 1 sum of money and 3 children receiving 3 sums of money. So I'm sitting there, and I've already received my present from my grandmother and tucked it safely away where nobody will see it. Because like I said, I'm used to this goddamn motherfucking shit. So, everybody goes around opening their envelopes, and my mother says to me, I've been very good this year. Well, now normally, I don't say anything, because I don't want Mom to get upset, because it's fucking Christmas, and it's her family, it's important to her, so whatever. Now because this has just been so goddamn par for the course over my lifetime, slip up. One year, I slip up, and I say, well, apparently I haven't been good this year. And Mom says to me, well, where's your envelope? And I said, I didn't get one. She's like, well, what did you get from your grandmother?
Wait, stop and tell her what did everybody else get? What was in their envelope?
Oh, my cousins, the little ones, got $500 each, and all the adults got $100 cash. Not like that bearer bond certified check gift card bullshit. No, cold hard, crisp, 20 cash, $20 bill cash.
The American way.
Actually, my cousin, before we even got to Christmas, said the grandma was giving out so much money that when she got out of the bank, she was listening to one side, trying to carry all the envelopes. So, of course, this had, like, the proper, it's going to be a good motherfucking haul for Christmas. Now, I take out what I actually got from my grandmother, and what I present to my mother is this nicely wrapped bag of gourmet pretzels with raspberry honey mustard dipping sauce. And my mother says, is that it? And I said, yes. And she's like, there wasn't anything in the bag? And I said, no. And I shaked the bag in my lap. And I put it all away. So she goes up to my Uncle Gregory, who's handing out the envelopes, and she says, hang on, I'll be right back. So she goes, and I'm sitting there, you know, putting my shit away, because I always try and make the speediest exit possible for Christmas. You know what? I don't want to be there. They don't want me there. It's all mutual. Yeah. And it's all for show. So she comes back and sits down, and she looks at me, and she says, I'm so sorry. And she bursts into tears.
Your mom?
Oh, yeah.
Your mom
bursts into tears. And I don't like mean like a couple trickle at the corner of her eyes. I mean like she is inconsolably bawling in front of the Lennox and Swarovski covered Christmas tree. So now I'm like,
because your mom is how close with your grandmother? Like
she does everything for her.
Yeah.
Picks her up from the airport. Whenever grandma's lonely, she flies down to spend the time with her. Takes her to doctor's appointments. Everything.
Slave.
Now my aunt Melissa, the one whose kids got $500 each, her relationship with grandma is so bad that when grandma stays in her house, they make her sleep in a motorhome connected to the house. They won't even let her sleep in the home.
Well, you can kind of see fucking why.
Exactly. Like, really, y'all were thinking it. So, Mom's bawling her eyes out at this point, and I say, all right, you know what, enough of this goddamn shit. I get up, I walk over to Mom's boyfriend, and I say, Mom's crying her eyes out, go get the car. So Tim goes to get the car. He takes all the presents, all the dishes, packs everything up. And I'm on my way back to my mother, and my grandmother grabs my arm and says, could you go get me a cup of coffee?
While you're up.
And I say to her, you know, talking to me, not what you want to do right now. And she says, well, I don't very much appreciate your attitude. And at that point, I had a decision to make. One very important decision. Now, mind you, this is a huge living room, and everybody is in it. So everybody is watching this little exchange with horror. So I sit there, and I have that split-second choice, and I say, no, you know what? Fuck it. I don't much like Christmas anyway. And I turn to her, and I say, listen, you hateful motherfucking bag of bile. I don't care what you want to do to me, because I've been used to this goddamn shit since the first day that you told me you were writing me out of the will. Or the Christmas where you told me that no matter what I did, I'd still be fat. I've been doing this my entire life. I said, but when you make that woman cry, that woman who does everything for you, I said, then we're in a whole motherfucking world of trouble. So she looks at me, and she's got this expression on her face. It's like, how dare you speak to me in that manner? And again, I had another choice to make. Could I have cut it off there? Yes. But I chose to keep going. Because at that point, I was not in command of my own faculties. And I say to her, you know what? I said, Grandpa's Alzheimer's was not a medical anomaly. It was a conscious decision. It was the only goddamn way that he was going to be able to forget that he was married to such a hateful, goddamn, shriveled up motherfucking cunt like you. I said, you stay away from me, and you stay the fuck away from my mother. And the pretzels were a gift, and I'm keeping them. And I collect my mother, and I walk down the stairs.
And her pretzels, mind
Yeah, and the pretzels. The pretzels came with me. And there's just dead silence from upstairs. I get Mom in the car, and it's dead silent. Mom's crying her eyes out. And I say, well, I think I'm off the guest list. And Mom just starts to hysterically laugh. And I knew it was going to be all right. So I get home to my father's house. Now, granted, my father's hatred of my grandmother goes back a very long way. The two of us have been saying for years, each of us have our own, like, ulterior plan for when the fucking bitch finally dies. And granted, it'll be when she's, like, 200, because the horror is surviving on nothing but formaldehyde and hate. Dad's theory is that when the bitch dies, he'll pass a good quart of Irish whiskey over her grave, but he'll put it through his kidneys first. My plan is that I will find the reddest, shortest, tightest goddamn dress possible, and I will walk into that funeral with a mallet and a stake. And I'll crack the coffin open, and as everybody's looking on with this horrified look, I will turn around as I'm sticking a bitch in the heart going, what? Y'all were fucking thinking it. You just want to be sure, better safe than sorry. So I go home, and Dad says, what did your grandmother do this year? And I said, well, I'm like, she gave me a gift. He's like, well, that's better than last year. And I said, that's very true. He's like, what did you give? What did she give you? So I calmly walk over to the dining room table where my father is enjoying his 12-year Jameson, you know, and his little cup of ice. And I place the pretzels on the table. And I release, and I stand back, and I wait. And it's like a 2 count of dead silence. My fucking 400-pound Irish Catholic father stands up, throws his arms up into the air, his face is red, the stubble is standing out like the seeds on a fucking strawberry. And he says, that goddamn motherfucking bitch, I will beat that bitch with a bat the next time I see her. Now that's pretty good. That's pretty good. But now at least I know that it's over. Because really, what can she do next year? What can she do next year other than poop in a fucking bag? And I guess the moral of the story is,
by next year, she could be asking you instead of for a cup of coffee for you to check her colostomy bag, darling.
Right.
So if I were you, I would not say, what can happen now?
no, I guess when it comes down to it,
Bad idea.
we've all learned something. And that the moral of the story is, you can in fact, in a pinch, give the middle finger with a snack food. Grandma 2008.